And while less well known at the time than Jules Bordet, he was considered a pioneer.
Gustave Eiffel was probably one of the best at this time, since he implemented a strategy of assembling metal components. He incorporated a certain number of parameters, such as fire resistance, but also wind resistance, which meant that he was soon able to build high structures.
But Eiffel already had his hands full. He was busy completing the Garabit Viaduct in the heart of the Massif Central. The railway span with a height of 400 feet and a central arch 540 feet across is still in use today. At the same time, the engineer was also finishing the framework for the Statue of Liberty. Lady Liberty, a gift from France to the United States, was a relatively small job for Eiffel. But its construction in the heart of the capital was a brilliant advertisement for his company. For Gustave Eiffel, building a 1,000-foot tower would be a crowning achievement. But someone else produced the tower's initial design.
Un pylône de 300 mètres. Vous voudriez me faire ériger un pylône de 300 mètres, Monsieur Coquelin?
C'est-à-dire que le nom est provisoire, bien sûr, mais il me semblait bien correspondre.
Venez.
On June 7, 1884, Maurice Coquelin and Émile Nouguier, two of Eiffel's main collaborators, presented him with a drawing.
This is a sketch that has been preserved for us. Of a pylon, you could say an extrapolation of a bridge pylon, but instead of being 50 meters long, it was 300 meters long and had a rather characteristic curved shape. It wasn't a pyramidal pylon. It had this curvature that was really characteristic of the tower that was part of this project. The project was called a pylon. It was not a tower yet, just a pylon, a bit free like an antenna could be, but 300 meters high.
Iconic Parisian buildings were superimposed over the sketch to give an idea of the scale.
Of course, the two engineers didn't just make a little sketch. They also drew up a brief calculation note to check the overall weight of the tower, taking into account the wind load and therefore the shape.
The calculations were extremely accurate, so the possibility of reaching 1,000 feet was real. The challenge of wind resistance seemed to have been solved too. The collaborators offered the drawings and calculations to Gustave Eiffel, but he remained unconvinced.
So that's how it went at first. Eiffel's reaction wasn't necessarily immediately enthusiastic.